For today's class, we'll talk about airport vocabulary. So let's see what you have to do there in order. So first, let's see some vocabulary that is important to take into account. That will be the terminal first, that is divided into two parts: the arrival lounge and departure lounge, common nouns as arrivals and departures. Okay? Well, a lounge is a waiting room. Okay? For example, you have the teacher's lounge in a school and between classes, right? And a doctor's lounge in a hospital. So the departure lounge is where you wait for the flight or when you arrive. Good. So let's see what is the arrival and what is the departures. So the arrival is an incoming flight where the plane is about to land. Okay, here you can see that the plane is about to land. The departures are outgoing flights, or in other words, will be a plane that is about to take off. Okay, here you have the departures, takeoff, and the arrivals and the landing. Here the verb is land and take off. Okay, any questions from now? No?
No, miss.
Great. So let's continue then. Okay, you can hear these words in the announcements. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is an announcement that flight 4030 to San Francisco has been delayed. Your new departure is, the new departure time is blah blah blah. In this case, 4:55, or 5 to 5 as well, 5 to 5 or 4:55. And here you have another word that is really common to hear, that is board. So this is a verb that means the action of entering the plane. Example, if the information monitor says your flight is boarding, hurry, because you must enter the plane before the plane leaves, right? Otherwise you will miss the plane. Okay. In the flight information monitor, you can find that your flight is on time, closed, that means that you were late and you missed your flight. Delayed, probably because of what weather, so it can be on time, closed, or delayed. Any questions about this? Or
No, miss.
great. Now let's see the situations in order when you enter to an airport, right? The things that you must do there. So first you have the check-in, right? When you check your luggage or suitcase, you check luggage. Luggage is uncountable, so you check luggage, a piece or two pieces of luggage or suitcases that are big, right, or heavy, and you cannot take to the plane, okay, with you, right? So that would be the ones that you must check. So you go to the check-in desk or check-in counter, will be American counter. Okay, so in this case, the bags that are smaller and you can take with you are called carry-on bags. So you don't have to check this luggage or bags would be. Good. It's the first thing you need to do when you get to the airport. So let's continue. When you get there, first you show the check-in agent your passport and your tickets, right? Or your boarding passes. Then you place your suitcase on the scale, okay, to weight the suitcase, right? Right, so maybe you have to mention a stopover or layover. That is when the airplane stops in a different city before continuing to the final destination. The opposite, when you don't have to stop in another airport, will be direct flight or non-stop flight, okay? So you have stopover or layover, it's the same. Maybe you have to mention this when you are in the check-in counter. Good. Now let's continue with the second situation. You have to go through security. So first you empty your pockets and leave your bags here on this scale here. Can you see? And in the bin or tray, it's called bin or tray, you empty your pockets and leave your objects in the bin. And then the X-ray machine will look inside your bags as well, okay? Then you have to go through the metal detector, okay? You remember you must not carry anything made out of metal because it will set off their alarm if you take anything like keys or a belt. If you are carrying any of these things, it will set off, okay? So remember to leave everything behind before you go through the scanner, okay? Great. So then a common phrase that security uses is "you are all set." This means that it's okay and you can continue, okay? Cool, so here you have the metal detector, security, the bin with your things, your bags. Good. Any questions about this? No? Are we okay?
Yes, Miss.
Great, so let's see the third situation, the gate. Okay, so when you finish checking everything, you will have to go to the gate. That is the door you go through to enter the plane. Of course, first you have to wait for the boarding announcement, okay? Please identify your gate, right? You have to find it. It's in your ticket, and it has a letter and a number. For example, A12 here, okay? That will be your gate. You will have to wait for the boarding announcement. We are going to see some common boarding announcements after this. In this case, here you have the queue or the line, okay, of passengers. And here you have the gate attendant. You have to give your ID and your boarding pass, so have these things handy, okay? So you don't waste much time and you enter the plane directly. And then we have situation number 4, that is on the plane when you are boarding, you are on board. Well, let's see some common words that you hear. Here you have the window seat. Okay, this is the middle seat, the aisle seat, and this is the aisle. Okay, great. So window seat, middle seat, aisle seat, and the aisle. And here, of course, you have the flight attendant. When you need anything, you need help, you may want to ask her. everything. For example, they might come to you and ask you, of course, if you want anything to eat or drink, right? When you are flying, and it's safe to unfasten your seatbelt. In that case, maybe you hear, "Hi, would you like pasta or meat?" Maybe they say it in a different way, of course, but this is just an example. You can say, "I have pasta, thanks." Anything to drink? Yes, some water, please. So let's see the in-flight announcements. So here you have, for example, please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat or in front of you, of course, or in an overhead bin or compartment. You might hear bin in American English or compartment. It will be British English, okay? But it's the same overhead bin. In this case, you put your carry-on luggage there. Of course, please fasten your seatbelts. We are about to take off. This is really important, guys. So fasten your seatbelts before taking off, okay? Before the plane takes off. Then you have the oxygen masks and a life vest that is located maybe a pouch under your seat or between the armrests here. Of course, electronic devices must be set to airplane mode. Any questions about the announcements during the flight? No?
No, miss.
Right. No. So we can continue then. Now let's see the arrival. When you arrive, you go to the baggage claim. Okay? Here is the baggage claim, where you collect your luggage, sorry. And then maybe if you are in the USA, you go at immigration or passport control. That will be where they check your documentation and ask a few questions. For example, what's the purpose of your visit? Maybe business, for work, or pleasure, on vacation, right? How long will you be staying in the United States? So you say how long you are going to stay. Where will you be staying? You say the hotel or the apartment, the location, the exact location, and maybe they ask for your return ticket as well. So have it handy when you go through passport control. Okay? Great. Any questions about this part? No? Are we okay?
No, miss. We are okay.
Excellent. So let's see some situations first. So in this dialogue at the airport, I want you to practice in the speaking part, okay? The situations at the check-in desk, for example, a counter. And let's see the common phrases and vocabulary words. But you practice the dialogue in the speaking part. Okay, the pronunciation of this is Chicago. Chicago. Okay, sorry. Great. So let's see common phrases and vocabulary words. So maybe they ask you, where are you flying today, or what's your final destination? You can say, here you go, when you give something to somebody, for example, when you hand in your passport or your tickets. When you check your bags, means to put them on the airplane inside the cargo compartment. The small bag you take with you on the plane is called carry-on. Of course, you need to put your carry-on bags through the X-ray machine at security. The scale is the equipment that tells you the weight of your luggage. For example, 45 kilograms. And the step over, layover, we talked about this. If the agent says that your luggage will go straight through, it means that it will go directly to the final destination, and you don't need to pick it up during your stopover. The boarding passes are the tickets that permit you to enter the airplane. Of course. The tickets. When a plane begins boarding, it means that the passengers start to enter the plane. Usually boarding time is 30 to 60 minutes before takeoff. Well, you might hear some announcements, maybe 3 or 4, and then they will start calling the specific passengers, the name of the passengers' names. Okay, maybe if there are 3 or 4 left, they are going to announce the ones that are missing. They are about to miss the plane. Okay, so don't worry, you will have a lot of announcements before the plane takes off. Okay, let's see the tips and suggestions. If you don't know where the check-in desk is, you can ask an airport employee, of course. Where is the American Airlines check-in desk, for example? If your bag is heavier than the weight limit, of course, you will pay, of course, an oversized baggage fee or overweight baggage fee. Okay, it's expensive, so try not to be overweight. Okay, and try not to pass that limit. So if you have fragile or sensitive items in your bag that might break, you can ask the agent, please mark this bag as fragile. If you want to ask if the flight will leave at the correct time, you can be asked on schedule or on time, of course. But you have the flight information monitor in that case, so don't worry. Maybe you will hear some announcements like a delay, right? Because of bad weather, perhaps. Here you can practice extra questions in the USA. Okay, you can practice the dialogue, going through security as well. Here you can practice the dialogue as well, going through security. So here you have phrasal verbs set off and go off. When the alarm sounds, we say the alarm went off. That's something that caused something that we talked about a few minutes ago. And to describe what caused the alarm to sound, we say set off. Okay, you can say the alarm went off, or the belt or my keys. In this case, set off the alarm. Well, here you are divided into 2 terminals. Here maybe you can hear these announcements. Attention passengers of United Airlines flight ATO, there has been a gate change. United Airlines flight blah 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 will now be leaving blah. So in this case, the gate changes. in this case. Now you will be leaving from this gate number 12. Well, when it says is now boarding, then you have to hurry and hand in your boarding passes to the gate attendant. Well, maybe you can hear first that the announcement says we would like to invite our first and business class passengers. So maybe you have the VIP or first class, and then the economy class after this announcement, okay? Well, then you have passengers seated in zone 2, that's rows. Okay, here you have the roads. The roads will be, let me show you. Where is it? Let me see on the plane. Here, so these are the roads, right? Maybe this is from 16 to 30, 26, I don't know, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here will be, these are the rows of and the number. You have to check the number on the ticket, and then when you hear the announcement, you go to the gate. Let's continue. Well, here will you hear all passengers, so this means everyone can enter to the plane. The last call will be final opportunity, and sometimes they call a specific passenger by name. The name of the passenger here, John Smith. John Smith, please proceed to the blah blah blah. Okay? So you will have a lot of opportunities, don't worry. Now, on the plane. The people who work inside the airplane serving food and drinks are called flight attendants. Both men and women who have this job are called flight attendants, yes. Well, maybe here you have another dialogue to practice, of course. Some conversation tips. If you didn't understand what the flight attendant said, you can say sorry or pardon, or if the person can say it again, of course. If you want to ask for something, you can use the phrase, can I have a blanket? Can I have a pair of headphones? Can I have some water? Can I have some extra napkins? Can I have a decaf coffee? Well, here you have regular coffee or decaf coffee, of course. We can talk about types of coffee and maybe in another class. There are a lot of coffees. Good. Well, any questions?
No, miss.
Great, so we can do the quiz now. Quiz, and maybe Fabri, number 1. I have a coffee with milk, please. Letter A, B, or C?
A, can.
Very good, can. Can I have? Very good. Brenda, number 2.
Brenda is not.
It's not here?
No.
What happened? She maybe lost internet connection. Okay, Cande, you can do next.
Excuse me, where is the Delta check-in desk?
Very
The
good.
eight.
Fabi, you can do the next one.
I lost my boarding pass. Can I get another one?
Very good.
Me. Uh, I have a stopover in Paris on the way to Israel.
Very good. Let's see number 5.
I'll have the pasta, please.
Excellent. Number 6.
You need to have your bag in Charlotte. Pick up.
Pick up. Very good.
A regular?
Regular coffee. Excellent. Number 8.
The metal in my belt set off the alarm.
Perfect. Very good. Number 9.
Do I need to take off my shoes?
Very good. You may ask this when you go through security. Sometimes you have to take off your shoes as well when they go through the scanner. Good.
Is the flight on schedule?
Schedule. Very good. Excellent.
There is a half-hour delay.
Very good.
What kind of shoes do you have? Shoes do you have?
Perfect. What kind of juice? Maybe
Mm.
orange or apple juice. Good.
How much is the oversized luggage fee?
Perfect. Very good.
What's my seat number?
Excellent. You may ask this when to the flight attendant or the gate attendant. Good.
Will my luggage go straight away to New York?
It's
I
straight
don't know.
through. Straight through means direct flight. Okay, that direct means would be directly to New York or straight through to New York without any stopover. Okay, it will be a direct flight or non-stop flight. Good, excellent, perfect, very good. So now we can continue with this. So maybe full vocabulary, we can talk about it next class, not this class,
Because it's a lot.
yes, it's a lot of information. Maybe we can read here the 3 situations. Okay, who wants to start reading until departure launch? Maybe Cande, you can start with.
There. I was looking for. Let me see.
Great. At the airport.
Travel, and I'm looking because I don't see very well in the here. Okay. At the airport. This is the usual sequence of activities when you get to.
Sequence of activities.
Sequence of activities when you get to the airport. First, you go to the check-in desk where they weigh your luggage. Usually, you are permitted 20 kilos, but if your bags weigh more, you may have to pay excess baggage. You pay extra. The airline representative checks your ticket and gives you a boarding card for the plane.
Representative checks.
Representative checks. Give your ticket and give you a boarding card for the plane with your seat number on it. Then you go through passport control where an officer checks your passport and into the departure lounge. Departure lounge. Here you can also buy things in the duty free.
Okay.
Duty free
is the shops where you can buy a lot of things in the airport, but they rip you off. Like you have to pay a lot of money. That is insane.
Okay.
The amount of money that you have to spend is really expensive. Those will be duty free. Yes.
Duty free. Perfume, alcohol, and cigarettes. About half an hour or 40 minutes before takeoff, you are told to go to a gate number, gate 14. How would I say he? For example, gate 14, where you wait before you get on the plane. When you board the plane, you find your seat. If you have hand luggage, you can put it under your seat or in the overhead locker above your seat.
Very good. You can stop there.
Okay.
Fabri, you can continue.
The plane, then the taxis move slowly towards the runway, and when it has permission to take off, it accelerates along the runway and takes off. Note, the verb to taxi is generally only used in this context.
Very good. You can continue with the flight.
Okay. The flight. Sorry. You may want or need to understand certain announcements. These come from the captain.
Very good.
Captain, the pilot, or from the air steward, or the stewardess,
or cabin crew as well, or flight attendants. The people who look after the passengers, yes.
Please fasten your seatbelt and put your seat in the upright position.
Very good.
We are now
Flying comfortably.
I did the pronunciation of cruising. Sorry. Cruising.
Yes. Flying comfortably.
Okay. At an altitude height of 1,000 meters, may we remain passengers to remember that there is no smoking until you are inside the terminal building, where the passengers arrive and depart.
Very good.
The cabin crew, air stewards, are now coming round with landing cards. These are cards you sometimes have to fill in when you enter certain countries.
Yes, the landing cards. You fill in with your information. Good. The arrival, you can continue with the arrival.
When the plane arrives on the ground, you have to wait for it to stop. Come to a halt. When the doors are open, you get off the plane and walk through the terminal building and go to the baggage reclaim where you collect your luggage. You then pass through customs. Custom.
Customs or green,
Customs.
nothing to declare, okay?
Red codes to declare. Blue, European Union's citizens. If you are lucky, you can then get a bus, taxi, or train to the center of town without waiting too long. You can also hire a car, rent a car at most airports. Note: in British English, you normally hire something for a short period. For example, hire a room for a party and rent something for a long period. For example, a flat for a car. You can use both words.
Very good, excellent. So when you go through customs, you have to declare, right? When it's green, it's nothing, or red, it's goods to declare, and blue is European Union citizens. Excellent. Well, this is at the hotel, but we don't have time for this. So next part, we are going to watch a really short video about a couple that flies to another country, and you have to use the past perfect here and the past perfect continuous. So let's see the question. What Mark and Betty had decided to do? Why did Mark wake up late? Why were the roads blocked? What happened when they got to the airport? Hi Brenda, there you are.
Yes, I'm here.
So we were at so here, Travel and Transport. We are going to watch a short video. We finished with the airport vocabulary, okay? So now we continue with this. Well, we're going to watch another video, but in this case, it's a short video to practice past perfect simple. So what happened when they got to the airport and what happened when they landed? Okay, so you will have to use the past perfect to answer this question. Okay? Good? Great. So remember this. So let me see if I can. Here. Great. So let's watch the video.